Welcome to my Vloggypod. My name is Sherry and thank you for being here. I said before, so this is a little vlog which comes afterwards, and the little podcast, as I've said before, it should have obviously been called a poddy vlog. Just about crafty things I've been up to and how I like to live my life, really. So I did say last time, I'll see you next week, and that was probably at least a month ago, for a number of reasons. First of all, what seems an age ago now, we had what we would in the UK call a heat wave, and I don't do well in heat really at all, and it was lovely. I love warm weather, so I did try it. I had to close the door because sounds of summer, you know, people mowing and children playing, etc. I had a permanent fan going in here, so I tried to do it, it was too noisy, so I had to turn that off. And then I was basically just a red mess. So hot and bothered, by which I mean by that, and you didn't want to see that. So that was about 3 weeks ago. And then the following week I actually wasn't very well, and I had for about 3 days. And maybe as I'm getting older, if I'm not well, I just have to listen to my body and think, okay, I need to rest. And I was wiped out for about 3 days, which I should say now did put me behind with your orders. So I'm really sorry if your orders if you've ordered and things have gone out a bit late. Normally they would go out, we turn it around really quickly, but that's why. So thank you for your patience, and everything is packed up now that should be. We're still not going to the post office daily or anything like that, because I know some people I feel like some people are acting like things are back to normal. I don't think things are anything like normal, so we're still trying to, we just do drop and go a couple of times a week. So completely distracted. What was I saying now? Oh, I wasn't well. So, and I had to go and do I didn't have to, but I went and did the COVID test just to check, because, well, you don't want to be walking around potentially having it. And if you haven't had the COVID test before, that was another weird thing. I was expecting just a swab of the cheek. Oh no. You have to sit in your car, and they come up to you with a big sign, stay in your car, phone this number, and you're talking to someone outside on a mobile phone. I just found the whole thing really stressful. And when you're already not feeling well, and it was just surreal. It's like something on a film. Anyway, so that was the following week. And then we had the opportunity to go and spend some time with our eldest son and his wife. It was his birthday. And latterly to see my mum. So for all those reasons, I haven't been able to do it before. You didn't really need to know any of that. But anyway, we did have a lovely time. We went to stay with my son and daughter-in-law in London. And we went to, so I was a bit kind of nervous actually about it, because my son wanted, when they were younger, we used to take our boys, we've got 3 boys, and they're all quite close in age, and we used to take them to the Natural History Museum, the Science Museum, the British Museum, the V&A, all of them, sort of on a regular sort of rota really. And he wanted to go to them for old time's sake. I was a bit nervous. I don't know if I thought London was just going to be a mass of people on the streets, but it actually wasn't. We got an Uber to the V&A, and it was like having it to ourselves. It was just, there were so few people there, and that was lovely. There's a little bit of footage of that actually in the vlog. Then we went to the Natural History Museum, and then we went to Kensington Palace Gardens, and then another day we did Richmond Park, and we had a barbecue, and it was just lovely. So that was lovely. Yeah, and I got to see my mum last week, which was lovely. But anyway, So mainly the things we've been working on at the moment are the advent calendars. So if you ordered our Foxglove Christmas in Foxglove Wood advent calendar or our mindfulness calendar, we have been full steam ahead working on those. So there's not a lot really that I can show you really, because obviously that's all secret squirrel, and I'm so blooming pooped at the end of every night that I haven't got much done, so it's not a whole lot to show you, but I just thought I would show you this little embroidery that I've just started, which I did a couple of little bags of these. Hot again already, surprise surprise, and I'm doing another couple this week. So that is the beginnings of a bag. It's going to be of an embroidery, 3 little roses, and the idea of it, the reason I chose those colours is because that's the fabric that it's going to go with. That's the lining of the bag. So I wanted to pick out the deep pinks, and then in my little bag, which is where I keep all of my, it's my embroidery bag really, it's where I keep all my bits and pieces, including my magnifying glass, which I wouldn't be able to see a flipping thing with without now. Yeah, so I've got some greens to sort of go with it, and a brown, so it should all be lovely. So that uses that's cast on stitch, which I'll probably try and do a little thing of that at some point. Brain ticking, for which you use straw milliner's needles. But like I said, I'll talk about that another time, because that's all of it. It's a whole different type of embroidery, but that's what I'm doing now when I'm not absolutely zonked of a night time. Yeah, this, I think I've told you before about this. This was my husband's granddad's, and I use it all the time. I wrestled it off my husband, he'd never see it now, and I'm always like this, checking my embroidery, but I love the fact that he used to use that. So that's all happening, and really all I really wanted to do was show you a few of the yarns that are in the shop, and some new ones which I'm very excited about, which are going into the shop on Friday, and some books. So what should I do first? I'll show you the books. A few books. So I will show you some of these books actually in the vlog next time, because I can't show it very well on here, but I've got a couple of lovely books. So this one is what I was reading, Where the Crawdads Sing. Delia Owens is the one I was reading last, finished that. Oh, I loved this book. So I'm a bit late to the party actually. I think people have been reading this and I've been reading how good it is. I loved it. And Amy, Taylor S Studio, I think she did a colourway of this, Kaya Shells, which I'm never going to beat that colourway. It's absolutely beautiful. So we won't be dyeing anything up, but that's a good book. If you haven't read that, I really recommend that. It's one of those books that kind of gets under your skin, and long after you finish reading it, you're thinking about it. So I loved that. And then this one, Jodie, if you're watching, have you read yours yet? Because I'm thinking I might read this one next, Kate Moss. I've read a few of her books and I love her books. Might read that, or is that a bit more of a wintry book? I don't know. Because I do this thing where my husband said, well, I'll read this and you read that. And he's kind of got me reading this, which is Ken Follett, Pillars of the Earth. It's a big book. It's a bit of a tome, and I think there are 3. If I read this, he's going to read Suitable Boy or Birdsong. Can't remember which one it is. Both books, couldn't believe he hadn't read anyway. So I might do this one next. I have read a few pages. It is quite good, but it's a bit gory as well. I don't really like gore. Anyway, that's something I've been watching. I've been watching Ozark. My friend Nikki got me onto that. Nikki at the cottage, she gets me onto everything I watch and read, quite honestly. And it's one of those things that I watch, but I'm kind of watching it through my hands a little bit because it's all just a little bit odd. But it's really good. Watched a bit of The Crown last night. Also excellent. All Creatures Great and Small has started on Channel 5. Not as good as the original, I think, but then early days. What else have I been reading, watching? You hear that clock ticking? I hope that's not too loud on the video. Can't remember, I'll come back to that. And also, I've just bought this, the oak papers, because James Canton, because I just love trees. I love trees. The older I get, the more I just think they're so amazing. So that's a lovely book. Well, I haven't read it, but that's one of those books that I'll read alongside something else. So that's that. Sorry, I'm still going on about books. I've also got a couple of little books that I picked up, little naturey books. Oh, it's so lovely to be able to get back in the antique shops, etc. This little one, which is Discovering Hedgerows. Sorry to squint. David Streeter, Rosamund Richardson, BBC. I think the original price of this is £1.25, so I think it's probably quite old. I shall enjoy that. And then this, which my blimmin' heart flipped when I saw this. Auburn's Birds, and the illustrations in this. I will show this properly on my, like I said, on my next vlog, because you just can't, it doesn't do it justice to flick through it like this. Just look at this. I just couldn't believe it when I found that. So yeah, they're all my books. Current bookmark. I'm going to make bookmarks, which is all rather bizarre. So yes, as I said, we've been working on the Advent, furiously working on the Advent, but I thought I would show you what's in the shop and what is going into the shop. So, So we have, oh, this is lovely. This goes nicely with this bag, actually. So this is vintage porcelain, which we've had in the shop twice so far, and it has sold out a couple of times, and I think we're probably going to try and get it in the shop again this Friday. And this was the vintage porcelain bag. Well, it didn't go with it. I just thought it was lovely, and it has that vintage porcelain look. My nan had lots of blue and white china. You know when it gets a little crack in it and you get that brown, and I love that. Anyway, this one had a little, I say had, because this has sold out, but again, I think I've got enough fabric to put another couple in the shop. A little progress keeper. I've not sort of said about the tabs. I don't put rings or anything on the end of my bags, because the whole point of these tabs, apart from closing it, is obviously you can use it to keep your progress keepers on and things like that if you want to. But that's a vintage porcelain bag, and that's the yarn, which I think, like I say, we're going to get a few more of those in the shop on Friday. And this is Porcelain and Roses, and I think that went with it. There were 3 afternoon tea as well, but that has sold out, and we're not actually re-dyeing that one at the moment, but I think there are a few of these, which is Porcelain and Roses, which again goes nicely with that. Yeah, I think I've got enough to put some more of those in. And then this is Aphrodite, which is very similar to another colourway we did, which was Clematis Days, I think. It's lovely rose pinks and caramels on a natural base, so that's really lovely. So this one, so when we do our yarns, we tend to have, and we are actually putting little videos on Patreon about, oh, I need to mention Patreon. Have I done that before? And I don't think I have. Whenever we do yarns, they're always inspired by something, and we always try and have a coherent kind of collection each week. And this one, there were 3. There was Celestial, Les Roses, and another one that I cannot remember. Can't remember, it's gone. Anyway, they were inspired by botanicals, which, oh, when I went to the V&A, oh my goodness, don't even get me started on it. So this is Pierre-Joseph Reduté. Sorry, that was all about the fact that the botanists that went out and made all of these amazing drawings all those years ago. They just fascinate me. So this one was inspired by this, which is Les Roses. So, and as I said, there were 3. I think there's some of that left. These are all on Sturdy Sock that I've shown you so far, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and it is exactly what it says. It's a sturdy sock. We have got quite a few more softer yarns, which are our super soft, and I haven't got it with me, but we've got one which is ultra fine merino, cashmere and silk, and that's absolutely amazing. And anyway, the ones that are in the shop this time, that was on 2-ply, and the ones that are in the shop that went in the shop on Friday, so last week it was William Morris week, so these were part of our arts and crafts collection yarns. So it was inspired by this, which is honeysuckle. So very often his prints came in, his designs came in all different colourways, and some of them were wallpapers, some of them were fabrics, block prints. So this is honeysuckle, so we call that Lonicera, which is the Latin, and that is olive greens and rusty ochres and pinks. That's that one. And then this one, which is wreath, and that kind of triggered off that colourway, which again is olive greens and blues, and is equally yummy. And they are, as you can see, they've got that kind of painterly feel, the arts and crafts collection. Quickly show you the bags. This bag, which went into the shop, there are a few of those left, or a couple of those left, and that one's got a lovely stripy interior. Oh yeah, that one also came, that was a Progress Keeper as well. Not Progress Keeper, DPN Cozy. You could buy it with or without DPN Cozy. So for those of you who don't knit, so if you're doing DPNs, which are double pointed needles, you would keep them in there to stop all your stitches falling off, which, believe me, has happened to me quite a few times. And so what's going into the shop this week, which I'm quite excited about, this is the bag that's going in, which I blooming love. Cheeky polka dot. What is a bag without polka dot? Somebody tagged me the other day and said she was using polka dots, which I thought was lovely. Little hand sewn tabs, and this is sort of heavier weight cotton than these. This one here actually is almost lawn, cotton lawn. It's really lightweight. This is heavier weight. It's got a bit of a shabby chic French look about it, I think, which is lovely. So that's going in, which also, if you like to be matchy-matchy, also goes beautifully with the vintage porcelain. and I do like to be matchy-matchy. But what I wanted to show you, the other thing that was going into the shop this week, is one of the first colourways we ever did. So during the recording of this, as ever, the camera's overheated and has had to be put in the fridge, as you do. So one of the first colourways we ever did was Anne with an E, because I am a huge fan, always have been from a little girl, of Anne of Green Gables. And we did some the first year, we did some last year, and this is our Anne of Green Gables take this year. So we've got 3, and Christopher he's my son, who I work with, and who, as when I'm showing you all these things, it's not me on my own doing this, it's Chris as well, it's just he tends to be behind the camera. Reimagined Anne of Green Gables and has illustrated her on the labels, which I absolutely love. So we have got 3, and this one is called Bosom Friends, and that's the label which he's done, which I just think is blooming lovely. And that is Anne and Diana, and that is sort of like almost like a ginger, caramelly ginger, light blues and lavenders on a natural base, and I just love that. So that's called Bosom Friends. And then we have this one, Sweetest Days, and that is from a lovely quote in the book, which I do not actually have with me to hand, but it's basically about how some of the sweetest days are the days that when nothing huge happens, they just turn into lovely days. So that's a kind of reflection of Anne and Sweetest Days. And then this one is Gilbert, because you've got to have Gilbert. And that's blues, and then just a hint of the gingery colour again for Anne. So they're the 3 that are going into shop this Friday, which I love. Oh, sorry, I just bashed that, probably make a noise. Yeah, so that's shop news. So also, thank you so much. Firstly, if you've bought any yarns from us or bags, that's incredible, or notebooks or anything. But we noticed the other day that we've got over 940 5-star reviews, which absolutely blew us away. We kind of hadn't really noticed that. We got a little message through from Etsy saying well done on something. So thank you for actually taking the time to sit down and write a review, because when you're a little business and there are so many people out there, it's really hard to get found sometimes. So leaving a review is lovely of you, so thank you. And one more thing, while I'm going on to, not my one more thing, but just one more thing on this, is while I'm talking about yarns, because I natter on about postage all the time, just to give you an example, one skein of yarn, if you live in the United States, will cost around £10 to ship. And I posted a package out the other day, which went out international tracked and signed, and it was 10 yarns tracked and signed for £30. So that's the difference in postage. I'm not going to go into it now, but there is a cut-off point. But if ever you do buy from the shop and you are in the United States or wherever in the world you are, and you're not in the UK because it's not the same, although obviously in the UK I can hold on to yours too, but if you ever buy some yarns and say, would you mind holding on to it until you've maybe got 4 or 5 and it's cheaper, and I do refund quite a lot of money actually from postage. Yeah, there we go. Hello. Someone's gate crashed. Gate crashing my party. I know. Patreon. I just wanted to talk to you about Patreon because, oh, manners. Manners. We've launched our Patreon, and for a number of reasons that I went into earlier, being unwell, etc., we didn't manage to get as much on there as we wanted to. Oh, I'm hot. For the first month, but there is lots of content going up next month. So if you like the vlogs, and if you like embroidery, sort of stitch alongs, or just showing you what I'm doing in a bit more detail, and we do some cooking over there, then come and say hello over on Patreon. I'll put the link below. I'll put all the links below. And Cindy, if you're watching, you had a lovely idea. You said, is there going to be a Patreon hashtag for things you do? Yes, there will. I will think about that. I haven't got my brain around that. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Sorry for the usual waffle. And there's a little vlog to follow. There isn't a quiz this week because I've just finished doing another quiz for Patreon, and I'm a bit quizzed out at the moment, but there will be another one in the next Vloggypod. I will put one on there. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.